So can you set this up here? Okay. Perfect. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, dear devotees, for your valuable association. I'm very grateful to all of you. And we are also grateful to Rishikesh Prabhu Puja Mataji for allowing us to come in their home and do satsang. It was last minute change, but thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. So let's begin with some kirtan and then we get into the discussion. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Vikinamini Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Vikinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Vaishnavadi Pachacharine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Vaishnavadi Pachacharine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Slow guys. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Nita Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nita Hari Bo. Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. कलयुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री गुरुदेव की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। Let us begin with Mangalacharan. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कथामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees once again. Thank you so much for your association. So we'll continue to study from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, and so far we are discussing chapter 13. Very, very interesting chapter and a lot of instructions are there for everyone, for all the Grihasthas. Because Dhritarashtra was a Grihastha, right? So before we begin, let us anyway. So whatever that I'm going to speak is all from the commentary of our acharyas and our guru work and whatever classes I listen to. So if anything that you like, anything that you feel good, may all the glories and credit go to them. And if there is any mistake, any error that you may find, it will be solely in mine. Please forgive me. Also, I request all of you to pray so that I can speak Harikatha that is enlightening to all of us and increase the bhakti toward the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. So we are studying from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13. Dhritarashtra quits home. So we have seen very, very wonderful discussion happening between Dhritarashtra and Vidur. The portion that we are studying right now, this is exactly where a lot of instruction is being given by Vidur to Dhritarashtra. So we look at this. We are studying from here. The Vidur is just as a Dhritarashtra, right? And then he's calling me sarcastically, dear Rajan. He's not a king, but he is sarcastically telling. So, and then he further telling him that you cannot escape death. Death is inevitable. It is going to come to everybody. Anybody who takes birth has to leave this body. There is no question about it, right? And it will come and take us all. And then he reminds us of the previous, the power of time will take away everything. Everything will be taken away by the power. So what are we waiting for? There is no right time or good time to start something spiritual. Time is now. That's a message being given to Dhritarashtra, because Dhritarashtra was instructed by Vidur even when Dhritarashtra was the king. Vidur used to instruct him, but Dhritarashtra never took those messages seriously. But now he's towards end of his life, he is being chastised very heavily, right? So that's what he's saying. Then Vidur teaches renunciation in the next 7 verses. So we have read like 4 verses. We'll read 3 more today. Then he's telling all your relatives have died, all your forefathers, your brother, nobody is alive, right? So it will come to you also. There is nothing that you need to wait for. Then we learn about the visible symptom of the old age, right? Like the teeth goes away, you can't see, you have cataract, your memory fades, your wrinkles, cannot hear, coughing, poor digestion, all these are the symptoms of the old age. And then we saw, and Rishit was very nicely explained the analogy of the signal, right? That from green we go to orange, and orange is going to be red only, and that is very fast. And then, though everybody is getting old in this world, everybody is interested in still expanding their life. How can I live more? Can I live more? You know, everybody wants to enjoy as they were enjoying at the young age. And they will take a lot of medicine, pills, so many things, and there are so many things available in the market too to satisfy, and everybody wants to do that. So there's a lot of urge people are not able to renounce, unfortunately. Even Dhritarashtra had a similar problem. That's what he's telling him. You know? So, in fact, it is mentioned in this purpose. Prabhupada says that the material problem should inspire us to take the spiritual process. If you are materially having some problem, like when we are in deep trouble, what do? We immediately remember Krishna. In the Krishna, please help, right? But when problem goes away, then what happens? Again, back to normal. This is our condition, unfortunately, a condition of everyone. But look at this in Ramayana. The example is given. Dasharat Maharaj. As soon as he sees one single hair becoming gray, he says, "Okay, I'm going to quit. I'm going to make Ram the king." Immediately he decides. And here is a Dhritarashtra, completely opposite. He is not ready to leave the home of his own cousins whom he tried to kill. Look at this condition. He's living like a dog, you know. The Vidu tell him, you are living like a dog. You should be quitting this home as soon as possible. Then we saw he's living very degraded life because of living on charity is not very good, especially uh, to those who try to destroy, right? So he is living very degraded life. And then he says, you are like a very miser. You have no shame, basically, right? And you are planning to live honored life, you know. You want to remain alive at the cost of your honor. You are not honored, but still you want to live. That's what he chastised him. And then further he talks about that dhira. So we'll start from here. I think we paused here, right? We'll start from verse number 26. So here, now he's telling. So before we begin, let's begin the Bhagavatam Mangalacharana. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. So here the word is used is dhira. Dhira means somebody who is undisturbed, undisturbed under any circumstances, either positive or negative. So can somebody give me an example of positive condition under which one should not be disturbed?
You get a lot of benefits, happy, joy, not be disturbed. The emotions should be in control.
Yeah, yeah. If you like, you should not become proud. Like you get a lot of appreciation, right? Then suddenly people become puffed up. And that should not happen. So we have to remain dhira even in those conditions, which is more difficult actually. Because anyway, when you have a difficulty, you anyway become dhira. But especially when the good things happen, we exhibit in such a way we cannot remain dhira. It is very unfortunate situation. So we should remain undisturbed in both positive condition as well as when the miseries comes. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what is that? That the problems are like season. They come and go. Krishna says, right? Matrasparshastu konteya sitoshna sukha dukkada agama paino nitya tam titikshva swabharata. He says, sukha dukha is like season. They will come and go like season. We have winter, we feel very cold. Then suddenly summer comes, we go out and enjoy outdoor, right? That's how it is. So we should never feel disturbed. Hare Krishna. We should never feel disturbed when miseries comes in our life. Because miseries are going to come and they will go. Happiness will come and go. And these are situations, if we introspect our life, it is like every day this is there. Some moment we are happy, some moment we are unhappy. Right? We don't have to see our whole life. Just look at the today's, there are moment where we were very unhappy. And now we are happy. Then we'll be again unhappy. Again we'll be happy. Like that. This is come and go. But we should remain dhira. We should not get disturbed in these circumstances. And that is the only way to bring steadiness in our life. Otherwise, it is very difficult to continue. So let us read this verse number 26. So all the translation and purport will be by our dear Acharya, Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So let's recite this verse. Gata swadham imam deham virakto mukta bandhanaha avignata gati jayat savai dhira udarata. Yes, Akshat, can you read the translation?
It's called undisturbed because unknown remote place and free from all observation, which is material body and it become used.
Hare Krishna. So basically here Prabhupada says he is called undisturbed who goes to an unknown remote place and free from all obligations. Basically one should be free. Here it is mentioned that one should go in a forest. But nowadays it is not possible to go into forest. But at least we can do that free from all obligation. This is important. This is applicable even to all of us. That we should not be worried about our household affairs. Let it run. Our children are running. They have been given wisdom. They have been given knowledge. Now let them run it on their own. Then what should I do? Focus on our bhajan, bhakti. Because now it's a time. We don't know how many days we are going to be there. So better to absorb because we have done all our duties, taken care of the children, they have studied, they're married off. Now it's our focus should go more on oneself. In a way, it should become like we should become a little selfish. That it is now my turn. I want to be with Krishna. So what should I do for that? I have done so much for my kids, my family. I have done everything. I built a house. I got them wealth. I got them nicely educated. All this I have done. But now it's my turn that I want to focus on myself. right? We see that in case of uh, Kardama Muni, and Devhuti, right? So Devhuti was so much absorbed in serving her husband, Kardama Muni, that she did not even take care of herself. She was very beautiful, absolutely amazing, beautiful. But when Swayambhava Manu, gave him to Kardamuni and he left. And Kardamuni was like a sannyasi. So he had nothing. And she is coming from a very rich aristocrat family where they had so much. But her role as a wife was that I will just serve my husband. For many years, she kept serving, serving. She did not even look at herself. And after some time, Kardamuni thought, he saw it his wife and he says, oh my God, what is this? She's not even wearing proper clothes because she her saris are torn, she become black, all those things. She says, what is this? I did not take care of my wife because I was busy in my own bhajan. Then what he does, immediately tells her, go and take bath in the sarovar. And when she takes bath in the Bindu sarovar, she regains her beauty. So what? Because she was absorbed completely in serving her husband, she regained her beauty by the mercy of his husband. So when we have done, we should focus on serving, but then sometimes we focus on ourselves, right? So now she wanted to focus Devuti, and she said, okay, now I want some children, so give me those children. And then Kapil Dev takes birth from them. So Lord Himself appeared when you have such great devotion. You see. So therefore, we should also, as we age, we should try to disengage from our day-to-day affair. Teach to our children, educate them nicely, let them take care. So here he says that is free from all obligation, quits his material body when it has become useless, and then they leave the body. Okay, now it is no more useful, so I will just do bhajan, and when it goes, I will just no more attachment to the body. Not like that I will go and apply this, how to become fair, how can I remove the wrinkle, how can I gray hair, how can I make my hair black? All these people are still doing it, right? And and that causes bondage because you are attached to this body, which is perishable. The body is not permanent. Body is going to go away. So what are we doing for something which is permanent? What is permanent? The soul. Soul is only permanent. What are we doing for the soul? The whole life that we do only for the body. We only do for body. In fact, the attachment that we have for food and clothes and all that, if we had 1/5 of attachment to Krishna, will be very happy in this life. 1/5. But so much attachment there for food and clothes and all that. So much is there. So therefore, Dhritarashtra is being told by Vidur. He says, one is called undisturbed. You are so much disturbed. The way you are living, you are not ready to leave this body. So in a purport, Prabhupada writes, Bhagavad begins with very beautiful bhajan by Narottam Das Thakur. He says, a great devotee and acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava has sung this. What is that? My Lord, I have simply wasted my life. Having obtained a human body, I have neglected to worship your Lordship. And therefore, I have willingly drunk poison. He says, Manusha Janma Paya Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya. I got human birth, but I did not take shelter of Radha and Krishna. Then what happened? Janiya Shuniya Vishar Hayya. By willingly, I drank poison. Because only in the human birth, bhajan is possible. Can the dogs which are running here, cats, can they do it? No. When we are just came, we saw a lot of the flock of geese there. So many geese were walking. Now, can they read Bhagavatam and recite Hare Krishna mantra? No. They are also living beings. They also got the body, but they cannot. So only in this human birth we can do this. And therefore, we should be focusing more on that. How do I get liberated? How can I get out of this body and be permanently situated in Goloka with Radha and Krishna? How can I be there? That should be our thinking. Otherwise, it's like willingly trying poison. I'm drinking. We are actually drinking poison, but we think it's nectar. That is the situation, right? In other words, Prabhupada says the human body is especially meant for cultivating knowledge of devotional service to the Lord, without which life becomes full of anxieties and miserable conditions. Therefore, one who has spoiled his life without such cultural activity is advised to leave home without knowledge of friends and relatives and be thus free from all obligations of family, society, country, etc. Give up the body at some unknown destination so that others may not know where and how he has met his death. It's like just going to the forest and leave the body like that, nothing to, no attachment, nothing required. In fact, all the scripture that we read, all the scripture, they only tell us to do one thing, to take the shelter of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Only that is to be done in this Kali Yuga, nothing else. In fact, there is a devotee, Prabhupada disciple, who lives in Vrindavan. So once a devotee asked him that how do you do your bhajan and all that? How? So he says, I have read Srimad Bhagavatam dozen times. I've read Chaitanya Charitamrita dozen times. I've read Bhagavad Gita. I've read Acharya's scriptures so many times. So many times I've read every day. And I had my own routine that every day I will read for 2 hours. Every day I will read. That is personal sadhana. It's not like discussing in a group and giving class, which is separate. This is sitting in one place and reading for his own purification. Says, I will read only that. And he said, I will, even if I feel like chanting more, I would not chant. I will read. You know, the Prabhuji is like, he's chant for last 40 years, chanting 32 rounds. And he says, if I want to chant 64, but I will, if my reading is not done, I won't do it. And then he says, after so many years of reading and all that, now I have understood. I have reduced my reading. What happened? Why did you reduce your reading? Well, all the Shastra are having one sar, that take shelter of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So now I am reading, I read, but I chant more. So that's what it is, that we should be chanting more and more. In fact, when we don't, because it's very difficult, like, if somebody tells you chant for 4 hours, I mean, mind is very difficult to concentrate. We will get disturbed. So we should do all the sadhana, all the angas of bhakti we should do at the initial stage. We should not become fanatic and say, I'm going to chant 32 rounds. No. We should do all different angas of bhakti like Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam. All this we can do. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. All these activities we should do. In fact, for reading, one very beautiful, if you don't have a test for reading, for example, then our Guruvar gives very beautiful solution. He says, if you don't like to read, don't, no problem. Every day, if you don't like to read also, at least go and touch Srimad Bhagavatam once. Just keep the Bhagavatam, like this Bhagavatam, and just don't open it. Don't open. Just touch every day and see the magic happen. Every day you touch, someday you feel like, let me just open a little bit and open, and then you start few words, then you put it back. Do the same thing every day. And then day will happen that you'll start reading and you'll get so much interest. Bhagavatam is like that. It is a Nigama Kalpataru Kalitam Phalam. It's a very, very mature fruit. If you all know, then in India, the mangoes are there on the tree. Now, those mangoes, if any bird has eaten, they are very sweet. Has anybody tested those things? In our village, when I was a child, in my childhood, I'll go to our grandfather's uh, mango orchard. Early morning we have to go, you know, just sunrise is happening at that time you go. And then you can go and find out that there are mangoes which are fallen and they are like little prick of a bird is there. And those are nectar. You cannot find those tastes. Even if you ripen them, you will not get that. So Bhagavatam is like that. Because Shuka Mukhad Amrutam Dravyam. Shukdev Goswami has touched that Bhagavatam and he has spoken. So it has become even more nectarian. It's amazing. Because any side of, like, you have a rasgulla, you eat from left, right, center, it's all going to be sweet. Bhagavatam is like that. It is sweet. So therefore, if you don't have taste, just touch Bhagavatam once a day and say, okay, just touch it and see the magic happens. You see the magic happen. Don't force yourself to read. Just touch. Then one day you start opening. Then you might want to see and you want to read like that. It will happen naturally. This is a natural process of getting, because Bhagavatam is very attractive. It's very, very attractive. Right? Further, Prabhupada writes, Dhira means one who is not disturbed, even when there is significant provocation. Provocation come in both ways, as we just discussed, both positive and negative. Right? Tolerance is not about, remaining patient. Tolerance is about remaining patient in provoking situation. People will provoke so much. At the time we said, no, I have to teach him. I have to show him I am right. In that, ego comes out and then we lose our temper. Right? But here he says, under provoking condition, we should remain dhira. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Under provoking condition, we should remain dhira. This is important. Because in a favorable condition, one can remain silent. There is no problem. In a favorable condition, everybody can remain cool, calm, and feel like, oh, a very perfect gentleman. But if there is a provoking situation, what happens? I remember, when we were having an annual general meeting in the society, in India when I was living, one person was, came and we are discussing certain things. And there was an argument on one point. But don't discuss on this point like this. Otherwise, I will bring up my in Mumbai there is called chawl. So I'm from chawl. My chawl culture will come out and that means what? He's going to use abusive language. So point is, in a provoking situation, people cannot remain there. It is very difficult. If you see today's world, for a very small thing, people get agitated. For a very small thing. And they have no value in the life also. We have seen people getting agitated like that. So we should try to become dhira, and this can come because this is at the anartha nivritti level. What is it? We say ado shraddha, then sadhu sangha, then bhajan kriya, and then anartha nivritti. Before we get ruchi, we get anartha nivritti. Now this is the longest path in the steps of bhakti, anartha nivritti, because that is not very easy to go, because we have been in this world for millions of lives. We have taken birth and all the impressions are still carried by us. Therefore anartha don't go away very quickly, and to the degree our sadhana is strong, sadhana is pure, to that degree anartha will go away. So if you are thinking our anartha is still not going, then what we should do? We should focus on our sadhana, we should focus on our service. That is what is going to help us become more and more purer. One cannot give a comfortable family life due to his affectionate relation with wife and children. This is natural. One is in a comfort zone, especially when we are in the youth. We say go out of comfort zone, right? And then work, take some challenging work. But when we grow old, what happens? We want to remain in the comfort zone because our body is not supporting, We don't want to take any further risk and all that. So that's a natural thing. But what Shastra says, we should not remain in the comfort zone. Self-realization is obstructed by such under affection of for family, and if anyone is at all able to forget such a relation, he is called undisturbed or dhira. Only if one is able to give up this relation, meaning that not like going away from the home, but at least not getting disturbed by the activities of those people, then it's called dhira. This is, however, the path of renunciation based on a frustrated life. But stabilization of such renunciation is possible only by association with bona fide saints and self-realized souls. So here Prabhupada is giving two examples. One, that we start taking to Krishna conscious out of frustration. That hey, there's so many problems, so many issues are there. Let me now take shelter of Krishna. That is one way. That is also good. At least instead of not taking, at least you are taking shelter in some way. But what is better? Out of love. Out of love. When we take shelter to Krishna out of love, then that is higher. So Vidu is telling this is what you should be doing. And Prabhupada is writing this purport to give us all these examples. One can be engaged in the loving devotional service of the Lord. This is the best. Sincere surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is possible by awakening the transcendental sense of services. This is made possible by association with pure devotees of the Lord. So to get this, we need association. Association is given a very, very high importance. If you see anybody who's not able to practice Krishna consciousness, he is not able to remain steady in their sadhana, then you will see that they have lost out on the association. They are not associating regularly. Those who do not associate regularly will not be able to continue on this path of bhakti. Because this is a path which is a long path. You need steadiness. You need steadiness. We all need steadiness. We all need a company. Right? Without that, it becomes very boring, very difficult. In fact, when Bhakti Siddhanta Sarvajit Thakur, was there, he was telling this. One mathematics professor came to meet him. And he told him that I came to your mutt many years ago, maybe 20 years ago and all that. And all these people, all these students that you have, they're all chanting only. Like, they have hands in the mid bag and they all are chanting. Even now when I come, they are only doing this. He said they are not graduated, I mean, they have not progressed, he was telling. Because what happens when we start chanting, we say chant. We become senior also, what we say? Chant. This is the only thing that we do. So Prabhupada told him, Bhakti Sarvajit Thakur Srila Prabhupada told him, that when a child goes to school in a KG, right? So in a KG, what do you learn? A, B, C, right? A, B, C. The child is learning A, B, C. Now when the child grows and is doing masters or PhD and is doing calculus classes, what happens? Again, the ABC comes there. But the ABC that the child was learning in the KG and the ABC which is being learning now in the PhD class, there's a huge difference, isn't it? Both have a different understanding completely. So similarly, this chanting that we begin, okay, let me start. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Okay. We started chanting. Now, when we do the same thing after 20 years, if we have been sincere, there is a lot of difference between what we were chanting on the day one and what we are chanting now. Because now there is more sincerity, there is more absorption, there is more intimate bhav that comes in when we are chanting. So chanting is same. So Krishna conscious process sometimes looks very boring. What are this? Just chant and read and it feels very boring. But as we do, as we read, we get more and more understanding that why I should chant. Earlier we were chanting because somebody told us to chant. Now we want to chant because I feel like chanting. Sometimes we chant because now there is a problem in life. But at stage will come where we will chant because I want to chant. I love this. This is what is there. So our process looks very simple and doesn't look very complex. That's what people feel, hey, how is it? Right? That's a problem. So we should always think in this line that how can we get absorbed. So Dhritarashtra was lucky enough to have a brother whose very association was source of liberation for his frustrated life. So we can see here. So people may ask question that Vidur was associating with Dhritarashtra even before this message was given, isn't it? For so many years they were together because they are brothers, and Vidur has been giving him advice also, isn't it? That do this, don't do this, give the kingdom to Pandavas. All this he was giving advice, but Dhritarashtra never listened. So how come now suddenly he's getting liberated? Because he Prabhu, right? He gets liberation. How come? Because now he is listening to the pure devotee. Before coming into Krishna consciousness, also we would have heard some classes, but for like, okay, let me hear some class, and we hear. Even now, sometimes we just say, okay, let me hear some class. But when we hear with an intention that I want to get something out of it, to improve my life, to become better in my Krishna consciousness, then the changes will come. Because now we are listening those as an instruction. We are listening them as an instruction. Now, question may come here. Vidur is much younger to Dhritarashtra. Then how come he's instructing? Because normally the younger should not instruct the elders. That is Maryada Vratikraman, right? But here in spiritual life it is different. If somebody is more enlightened, more advanced, who has seen Radha Krishna, then taking shelter at those devotees is beneficial, and there is nothing wrong in it. Like we see Amarendra Prabhu, he is very young compared to all of us, but we all take shelter and say, Prabhu, please guide us. Why? Because he is so advanced in his bhajan. He is so sincere, right? So that is what it means. That there is no Maryada Vratikraman happens when we go to someone who is younger than us, but who is spiritually more advanced. So therefore, when Vidur is giving instruction to Dhritarashtra, there is no problem because Vidur is anyway more advanced and enlightened soul compared to Dhritarashtra, right? So this is a very wonderful instruction that we can take and try and implement for our life as well. Let's go to verse number 27. So verse number 26 talked about Dhira. Now he's saying Narottam. Narottam means the best, Nar Uttam, best among the man, first class man. Prabhupada will always say, no, my devotee will be gentleman. My devotee. A devotee has to be a gentleman. Gentleman is who behaves very nicely, who does not provoke people, who speaks softly. These are the qualities of gentleman, right? So let's read what is the Narottam. Uh, verse 27. Okay, let me change this. Yeah. Yasvakat parato veha
स्वकार्परतो वेहा
jata nirveda atmavan
जातनिर्वेदात्मवान्
hridhi kritva harim gehat
निर्विकृत्वा हरियेहा
pravarjet sa narottama.
प्रभवेत नरोत्तमः
Yes. Why can you read, madam?
Last month, who recalls the understanding, either by himself or from others, the fact
Falsity.
identity of this material world and has been formed and depends fully upon the personality of Godhead embedded within his heart.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Vedant. So what's the definition of first class man? Who awakens and understands either by himself or from other. The enlightened soul will understand themselves, like last time we were speaking, how we can understand. One, by reading scripture, that's a way to gather knowledge. Second, by following the instruction, somebody tells and we do it. And third, we experience it, right? We see others and we still don't learn, but we want to do it ourselves and then say, okay, now it's not for me. But the first class man who awakens by hearing and by reading. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, there are three classes of transcendentalists. What are those? Dhira, one who is not disturbed by being away from family association. One is in the renounced order of life, sannyasi, by frustrated sentiment, who is not happy. I want to give up. I'm not happy with this family, so I want to give up. Then become sannyasi. And third is a sincere devotee of the Lord who awakens God consciousness by hearing and chanting and leaves home depending completely on the personality of Godhead who resides in his heart. So sannyasi who gets sannyasi by frustration, not by willingness, out of love. No. Then that's also good, but is a lower category of personality. Then dhira, who is not disturbed. And then the person who is sincere devotee of the Lord, he is the highest. Because to serve, like all our gurus that we see, they have willingly come into Krishna consciousness. And if you see all this, like Giriraj Maharaj, for example, he is the son of a millionaire. His father was a lawyer. And you know how much money a lawyer makes in America. Most of the lawyers are millionaires. Because one case and they become millionaires. So this is how they are. He quit. Giriraj Maharaj, when he was 17, 18 years, he quit his father's home and become brahmachari. And then where he was living? He was living in Juhu, in a place where there are so many mosquitoes and cockroach. In this condition, he was supporting and serving Srila Prabhupada and help him build the temple. The Radha Ras Bihari temple is because of the effort from the Giriraj Maharaj. He put so much effort in that. In fact, he has written a book, I Will Build You a Temple. It's a very wonderful book. You know, if you get it, read that book. The whole story, how the struggle happened by all of them and how he built the temple came. It's very wonderful. So these are the people who are of the highest quality, who gave up everything, and become completely renounced. We have something not working in our home, suddenly we feel, it's too much problem. In a summer, the heater doesn't work, the AC doesn't work. We are having so much problem. In a winter, if the heater doesn't work, then we also miserable. So that's a problem. So we should always think that how can I become God willingly, not by force. Hare Krishna. Sorry. How can I become willingly Krishna conscious, not by force? Because then we will be doing our bhajan with a lot of interest. Otherwise, by force, how much one can do? Like we can take horse to the pond. Can we make him drink the water? No, it's not possible. But if the horse willingly goes to the pond to drink some water, to quench his thirst, yes, then he will drink. So we should have that condition that I want to serve Krishna, I want to love Krishna, and therefore I want to chant. That bhav should be there. And that bhav can come by remaining in the association of the devotees, by reading the scripture. Like we just heard the example of The devotee who has been reading, and then he says, okay, now I understood that Sarva Shastra Sar is what? Nam Sankirtan. I just chant. But to develop that, he has to read for so many years and so many times. So that may come by associating with the devotee also, by hearing, and then we'll get some love. Because on our strength, it is not possible. Very difficult. On our strength, it is very difficult to begin bhakti. Further proper lives here. The idea is that he renounced order of life after a frustrated life of sentiment in the material world, may be the stepping stone on the path of self-realization. But real perfection of the path of liberation is attained when one is practiced to depend fully on the Supreme Personality of Godhead who lives in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So self-realization means now I am fully surrendered to Krishna. Goptrutve varana. Anya abhilashita shunyam. I have no desire. I am only depending on Krishna. Now that is a very high stage, but at least we need to reach to that goal. We should try to, our goal always should be set very high. We should not set very small goal. Because then we achieve and then we say, I've achieved it. But that goal is not going to help. This can be a step. Okay, my goal is there, but I'm going to go here. And then from here, I will go here. Like that, we keep gradually progressing. But goal should be always highest. Goal should always be set high. One may live in the darkest jungle alone out of home, but a steadfast devotee knows very well that he is not alone. Not alone. We are never alone. All those crimes which are happening, people think I am alone. Nobody is watching me. Because they don't know the Paramatma lives in their heart and he is watching every moment what we are doing. Paramatma knows everything. So we are not able to hide anything from him. He is not intervening because the freedom is given to all of us. We have the freedom. Krishna has given freedom so that we can do whatever we would like. But he is guiding. If you see that sometimes we try to do something, you will feel like, no, I should not do it. Isn't it? We all have experiences. So Paramatma keeps guiding. But if you suppress that voice again and again and again, then it's very difficult. That's what happens. People become criminal because they keep suppressing those voices. It's not right. We should not do it, but they keep doing it for little bit of material benefit, little bit of material enjoyment. And then that becomes their second nature. They become their habit. And they keep doing it. And now there is no compassion. They have lost compassion. Therefore, dear devotees, associating with the devotees who have seen and served Radha Krishna, who have been very steadfast in their bhajan, is so important because they will keep a check on us. They'll ask, did you chant your rounds today? Are you eating only prasadam? One question we get shaken up. Yesterday only we had some chips. I forgot. And we did not offer. Immediately, when somebody takes, because now these questions are not to, show us in the wrong side, but to introspect, to tell us, introspect and see what are we doing. In fact, there is one very short lecture by Amrita Prabhu, in which he gives this very specific instruction. I think 5-7 minutes only, but very powerful. Very powerful. That we should always check our sadhana every day. Did I do my rounds? Okay, I did. That's a number. Now, next level is that was I distracted when I was chanting? Did I do my round with attention? Did I do my round with absorption? What I was thinking when round happened. Now, these are the thinking that we need to keep in mind. And then go back and revisit and say, now I'm going to improve next day. Because only if we measure something, we can improve it. If we don't measure, then we say, yeah, everything is fine. There is no problem. Things that we measure can be improved. But if we don't measure, we cannot improve that. Because then we don't know where we are. There is no base which is created. So therefore, we should always measure, and we should never compare with others. That comparison should never be done. We should compare ourselves that what I was doing yesterday, have I improved? Even if it is 1 inch, perfectly all right. Because little we can make a progress. But when we compare, we become frustrated. See, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu gives this example. He says, he asked us, all those kids in the class, okay, let's do that here. We have kids here. Okay, I'm going to ask question. So you get 96%. Okay, 96% marks. Are you happy? Will you be happy? No? Why? You want 100 marks. They are not happy. Where is this perfection going to come? We bring perfection in Krishna consciousness, avyukta, chanting. Okay, so here the bar is already very high. So we'll use the example of Prabhuji. So he says, yes, we are very happy, 93%, very good. What if I tell you that you are the only one who got 96%? He said, that's very good. But what if I tell you that all the rest of the kids got 97, 98, 99, 100? Now I'm not happy. Okay, then he says, okay, what if I tell you that you are the only one who got 60%? He said, no, I'm not happy. But what if I tell you that everybody else got 50, 55, 58? I'm happy because now I'm the highest, I'm the topper in the class. So what happened? Our happiness become subjective, right? Our happiness becomes subjective based on what others are doing and what am I doing. But we should measure ourselves that how much I am progressing. So therefore, when we chant, when we read, we should never compare others. Somebody may be able to sit for 2 hours and read. We may not be able to read it. But there is an app, everybody has seen the app. The page by page become a sage. Everybody knows this app. It's a very wonderful app. You can download. I think it's both available on Android and iPhone. Just download that app. It is called Become a Sage. That's the app name. Page by page, become a sage. For example, we are very busy and we have so much responsibility. So we don't get time to read. But then if we want to bring some discipline in our life, then what we should do? Okay, I want to read Bhagavad Gita, for example. Okay, I want to read in 1 year. Then you can go in that app and write that I want to read Bhagavad Gita in 1 year. Then what happens? It will give you that you should read this many pages every day, 5 pages every day, like that. And that's it. If somebody wants to read Bhagavatam in one year or 2 years, you need to read 43 pages every day. And that's it. If it gives a guidance, and you can say, okay, I will read only 2 pages, then it will even tell you that, okay, if you read 2 pages of Bhagavatam, then you will take 15 years, something like that. So yeah, be a sage, not become a sage, it's named be a sage. So for example, let's say we are reading Bhagavatam, right? Bhagavad Gita. Okay. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, you want to finish in a month, 1 month. How many pages are required? Only 3 pages. Can you imagine just 3 pages and you can finish entire Bhagavad Gita in 1 month? This is 3.
Just read slow and translation.
The whole thing, purpose, this is like whole book. Just 3 pages. In 1 month, you can read Bhagavad Gita. Now we read, oh my God, it's so simple. I will like postponing for years and years and years. That means how many years I have wasted. But here I have an option, right? And you want to say, I want to read particular shlokas. So I can say I will read only 2 shlokas or 3 shlokas per day. right? If you read weekly, if you want to finish weekly, then you need to read 10 shlokas. 10 shloka per day will finish a Bhagavad Gita in 1 week. 10 shloka per day. So Priyansh, this is for you. You have got Bhagavad Gita personal copy. So you can use this app that how fast you want to finish. If you take 1 year, then you need to read 1 pages.
प्रभु जी भावार्थ भी तो समझना है खाली
ये तो
पढ़ने से-
पढ़ने का है, पहले पढ़ो तो सही। प्रॉब्लम यह है कि हम भावार्थ समझने के लिए पढ़ना छोड़ देते हैं, अरे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कैसे पढ़े। Things we don't know, we should at least put an effort to read first. Then slowly will become clearer. Like Bhagavad Gita, if you want to finish in 1 year, read 2 shlokas. 1 month, 24 shlokas. 1 week, 103. Sorry, I think I was changing. I have some 5 years something. So like that. So if you want to finish in 3 months, then 8 shlokas you should read, and you can finish that. 4 months, 6 shloka. 5 months, 6 months, 4 shlokas. Like that. So it's very easy. All of you should download this page, BSH. Very simple. And then you can even track your own performance. It's a tracking. You can track yourself and say how am I doing. You can even set reminders. Everything is there. All the important books are there. Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna book, Nectar of Devotion, Instruction, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ishwapanishad, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. All these are there. So you all can download this app. It will give you very beautiful guidance. And this is like a page. This page is. Then you need to read 10 pages. I think you finish in 1 month, like that. So beautiful.
It has everything probably.
All major books. Not everything. Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna book, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Ishopanishad, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So there are this many books are there. It's very amazing.
It's free.
Huh?
It's free.
Yeah, ISKCON apps are all free. This is developed by Vaisheshika Maharaj. He's a book distribution minister in ISKCON, and he's very amazing. And this is very beautiful. You can see a demo, and then it will show you this many pages and all those stuff. So try to download this app, and we can become very sincere in our reading. Because now I have taken a vow that I'm going to finish Bhagavad Gita in say 1 year. Then I have to read 2 shlokas per day. Set reminder, every day read just 2 shlokas. So next time we meet next year, you should finish Bhagavad Gita every day 2 shlokas. It's so simple. Either you can go by shloka or you can go by pages, because pages means they have taken a physical book and they show you how many pages you should read. Just like that. So very wonderful app. It keeps us motivated. See, right now everybody lacks in doing sadhana because of some motivation. There is no motivation. We do certain things only because there is some motivation. We go to work because we get salary. If there's no salary, I don't know. We'll not get motivated. We work so hard. Why? Oh, I want to get promotion. So there is a motivation. So therefore, this app will very good. It will help all of us to read this. I use this, so all of you can read it as well. Okay, let's go further. So Prabhupada writes very beautiful lines here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is with him, and he can protect his sincere devotee in any awkward circumstances if we depend on him. If we don't depend on him, then why the protection will come? It won't come. So we should depend on Krishna. One should therefore practice devotional service at home, hearing and chanting the holy name, quality, form, pastime, entourage, etc., in association with pure devotees. And this practice will help one awaken God consciousness in proportion of one's sincerity of purpose. This is important. Purpose is our sincerity matters. In our bhakti, sincerity is very important. Somebody says, I've been chanting for 20 years, no change. Yes, just do introspection. how sincere you are chanting. Are you distracted when you are chanting? Sincerity matters. You will see some devotee making very rapid progress because they are sincere. They have removed distractions. So this is very important. Now this is very important line here devotees by Srila Prabhupada. You can please pay attention for this 20 seconds. This is extremely important line. One who desires material benefits by such devotional activities can never depend on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he sits in everyone's heart. Nor does the Lord give any direction to persons who worship him for material gain. I'm chanting, I want this, I want that. Then Krishna will fulfill those desires, but not give Krishna prem. The ultimate goal that we are trying will not come to us. We'll get the material benefits. Krishna, help me get promotion. Okay, you get promotion, but no bhakti. Bhakti will not come. If you think that after promotion I'm going to chant more and all that, it's not going to happen. Because once we have a habit of asking and fulfilling our desire, we'll keep doing that for the rest of our life. And therefore, we become karma mishra bhakta, not a pure devotee. Karma mishra bhakta don't go out to spiritual world. They stay in this material world. Because Krishna will also not give us a direction because our desire is not there. Our desire is not Krishna prem. Our desire is dhanam, janam, sundarim. Then we will get only those things. No pure love will manifest in our heart because we are asking for something which is not favorable for bhakti. Because Mahaprabhu says, na dhanam, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, na kavitam va jagdish kamai. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavtat bhakti ahaituki tvai. For life after life, I want ahaituki bhakti. Uninterrupted bhakti is what I want. And therefore, I don't want any material thing in my life. The Shikshastakam prayer, everybody should read every day. Every day you should read. It's a very powerful prayer. Only 8 instructions are there, but if you read it, the purification will automatically happen. Because what says after 8 verses? Whoever recites this Shikshastakam every day, Krishna Bhakti will increase day by day. What he says? Prabhura Shikshastakam Jai Pade Shune. Krishna Bhakti Tare Bade Dine Dine. So you have to read this every day. Then it will increase. Only 8 slokas. Very beautiful. So this is what it is. If you are looking for any material desire, Krishna will fulfill that. But he will not give Krishna prem. We will not get that. So it's up to us what we want. And Krishna is also saying he will not guide, he will not give direction. Krishna says, Dadami buddhi yogam. I'll give buddhi to come to me. But if he says, no, Krishna, I don't know, I want this. Okay, you take that. I won't give you intelligence. Then you do your own. And then again, we are stuck in this material world, birth after birth, life after life. Such a materialistic devotee may be blessed by the Lord with material benefits, but they cannot reach the stage of the first class human being, as above mentioned. It's not possible. We cannot. There are many examples of such sincere devotees in the history of the world, especially in India, and they are our guide on the path of self-realization. Mahatma Vidur is one such great devotee of the Lord, and we should try to follow in his lotus footsteps for self-realization. There are many devotees, like in our Goswamis. If you see our Goswami, 6 Goswami, they were from today's material wealth perspective, they would be like millionaires. But they gave up everything. And they were living under a tree in Vrindavan, not the same tree every day, so that they don't get attached to the tree. Therefore, they were not even living under the same tree. Can you imagine? And we get so much attached to our small possessions. Because there is a very beautiful verse in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita it comes. He says, I think I have it here. Yes. Let's recite this word, everybody. एक कृष्ण नामे करे सर्व पाप क्षय नवविध भक्ति पूर्ण नाम हईते है Yes, Abhikta, can you read translation, Bira?
The people chanted the holy name of Krishna. Once a person is relieved from all the actions of the sensual life, one can complete the 9 processes of devotional sense simply by chanting the holy name.
Hare Krishna. So only by chanting all our 9 processes of bhakti is taken care of. Only by chanting. Nothing else. So we don't have to chant, we just have to chant. But that is difficult. So that's why we read, we do seva, we do archan. This is all fine, no problem. But eventually everything should lead us to chant more. So we should chant and chant and chant. That's the only thing we should do. Okay, let's do the last word and then we'll stop for today. So you're saying leave for naught, basically. So this is a last instruction that is being given by Vidur to Dhritarashtra. Athodicim disham yato saver agyata gatir bhavan ito rava prayashas kala pumsam guna vikarshana. Okay, Rishit, can you please read it?
Please therefore leave holy not immediately without letting your relatives know. Pursue that anger approach which will diminish the good qualities of it.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Bharat. So here, this is a final instruction. He says, now I have told you everything, now just leave for north. Right? In earlier days, to leave for north means what? Go to Himalayas, north side. That's what it is. Don't go to south, because south, who lives in south in direction? Yamaraj lives in south. So from the direction perspective. So you should go to north. See, purpose was right. One can compensate for a life of frustration by becoming a dhira or leaving home for good without communicating with relatives, and Vidur advised his eldest brother to adopt this way without delay, because very quickly the age of Kali was approaching. Kali was approaching because Krishna has left, Kali is coming, and life is going to be very miserable. He says, start going. A conditioned soul is already degraded by the material association, and still in the Kali Yuga, the good qualities of a man will deteriorate to the lowest standard. We see this nowadays, isn't it? Deterioration has become to the lowest standard of the man. People, if you see, if those who are following news and all that, we see all these different types of news, which shows that how the consciousness of the people have become so shallow. So shallow. But he was advised to leave home before Kali Yuga approached, because the atmosphere which was created by Vidur, his valuable instruction on the facts of life, would fade away due to the influence of the age which was fast approaching. So somebody gives an instruction, if we wait for that to fall, then what happens? That instruction is going away from our head. We don't no longer remember that. Like for example, if we talk about what we heard in the last class, then how many of us are able to recall some points? Because those are already gone. New things have already, new impressions have taken place. So we don't remember that. So same thing, when the good instructions are given, you should try to implement it as quickly as possible. We should act on that. If we find that this is very good for my Krishna conscious progress, then I should act on that immediately. Because those instructions, even if I write down, it is likely that I'm very rarely going to go and revisit those things, but implement them as quickly as possible. That is the sign of a sincere bhakta, sincere sadhak. That as soon as instructions come, they take it to the heart and say, now I want to do it. And they start practicing. They may not be perfect, but they begin practice very quickly. So we should also try to learn from that. We should practice bhakti very quickly. To become Narottam or a first class human being, depending on completely on the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, it is not possible for any ordinary man. It is not possible. We cannot depend on Krishna just like that. Tomorrow say, okay, depend on Krishna completely, can we? Are we ready to do that? Very difficult. So we'll start thinking who will make the food, who will cook, who will buy groceries. All the worry comes in our mind. But those who are completely dependent on Krishna, Krishna takes care. Krishna takes care. Because in Bhagavad Gita he says that I give devotee what they lack and I preserve what they have. Yogakshemam vahami aham. He says that. Yogakshemam vahami aham. Vahami means not even give. He says, I will bring. Vahami means he will carry. Can you imagine? He will carry that. So Krishna will personally carry those things in our home and say, okay, you want this, take this. You need this, I'll give it to you. There are so many examples of saintly people, like, in Gujarat, there is a very wonderful saint called Narsim Mehta. If you see his life, he had nothing. He will just fully depend on Krishna. And he get absorbed so much into bhajan that Krishna will say, Arey, he has come for this service. His people in their home are waiting. He becomes Narsim Mehta and goes and offers. Because he's absorbed in bhajan. He says, what will happen? I have to go. So Krishna fulfills like this. But we have to have full dependency on Krishna. Then things can happen. The mountains will move. Dhritarashtra was advised by Vidur at least to become a Dhira. In the beginning, if it were impossible for him to become sannyasi or a Narottama, I will become Dhira. The Dhira stage is attained after prolonged practice of yoga system. But by the grace of Vidur, one can attain the stage immediately, simply by willing to adopt the means of the Dhira stage. So here there is a very important instruction. To become perfect in our bhakti, it may take very long time. But sometimes, just because of association of a devotee, it can become very fast, very quickly, very, very quick. He says in Chaitanya Chaitanya Shlok will come. He says, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kay. Everything? Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kay. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha. Matra Sadhu Sangha. Sarva. I'm forgetting the last point. You know Rishikesh, what is it? Sarva Shastra. So basically it means that, that lava means what? The 1/11th of a second. Lava is a 1/11th of a second. If you associate with some person with that much time, pure devotee, then Sarva Siddhi hoy. Sarva Siddhi hoy. Everything becomes perfect. So therefore, this association of a pure devotee is so important. Association of a devotee will help us to continue our sadhana, continue our practice, to read, to chant, to serve, to do worship. All this can continue if we come in a association with the devotees. Therefore, this Bhakti Vriksha, which was created by, actually it's called Namhatta by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Namhatta means a small gathering called Namhatta. He created this. Namhatta should be there in every colony, he says. Every 10 house, one Namhatta means only those 10 devotees, 10 house will come and practice. Next 10 house, you should have your own Namhatta. Like that. So when we meet, then we know that what everybody is doing. He's reading, he understands this. Okay, let me also read this. Oh, you are reading this, you are doing this. Oh, there's a program happening. Everything we come to know by talking. So therefore, this association is very, very important, dear devotees. Right? So with that, we'll stop here. We'll continue reading and we have now more instruction coming. Dhritarashtra Gandhari leaves the home. Vidur also quits, goes, and then Yudhishthira laments that, oh, everybody is gone because nobody told him. Vidur told him go without telling anyone. So Dhritarashtra followed his instruction. And they went, even before they woke up, they left the next morning. So we'll see that what happens in the next verses. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. Hare Krishna. Yes, Robert Prabhu, you have a question?
Oh, no, sorry, Prabhu. I was just going like this and somehow it triggered
Yes,
the, yeah.
that.
Yeah, sorry. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you for attending, and we look forward to see you soon. I hope you
Yes,
feel better.
Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you feel better.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna.
So we'll stop here. So let's